So our podcast is all about your journey in music and how you got to where you are now.
Okay, good. Yeah. Do you, where do we begin?
Where were you born and raised?
So I was born and raised in New Orleans.
Okay.
I was born in Gentilly. Shout out to all my homies who from Gentilly. To middle class family. My mom, she's from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and my dad is from the city. He's from New Orleans, and they met here. I had two beautiful children, me and my brother. And, uh, and we actually both took up music because my mom was, when she was in college, she used to be an opera singer, and
Oh,
um,
wow.
crazy, right? I wish I had her vocals.
I was going to say,
Uh,
she must have an insane voice if she could sing
she still
opera.
does to this day. To this day, it's crazy. Her, and then my dad, he had a couple opportunities to be like CPAs for labels in the city.
Oh,
Um,
really? That's rad.
yeah, because they used to call him, he was like what they called like a money man. So he was like, he would go to like live venues, like, and would go pull up to rap performances
Hmm.
and performances, and would collect all the money from the tickets and then divvy up the money at the end of the night. That's what my pops did. So
Wow. So
isn't that crazy?
yeah, both of them are in like,
I
we're
just
in the
found that out.
industry.
I just found that out too about my pops. Like,
Oh,
and
really?
he didn't even tell me. My uncle told me. He was like, "Yeah, you know your pops. He used to be." And I was like, I never would have known, and he confirmed it.
That's crazy. That's really cool. Real quick on your mom's vocals, like, have you ever thought about having her sing on any of your records?
Oh yeah, we worked on some stuff. I actually
Oh,
just,
really?
yeah, I it's, I don't know when it will come out, but it is, we got to put the production behind it. But last time I visited her, she's in Mississippi right now.
Hmm.
She actually cut some vocals a cappella perfect.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That must have been a pretty exciting moment for you, man, to have your mom on one of your songs or a couple of your songs.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to put the beat behind it because she's trusting me. You know, she'll be like, "I don't know if it sounds right. Do you want to?" You know what I mean? She's like, "It's her first time recording in like a
Oh, okay.
or probably ever."
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Let's just put it
Yeah,
out. It's like,
that's
yeah,
cool. That's really
gotta
cool,
make
though.
it sound right. But she's the best.
That's amazing. Okay, so your dad was into, divvying out the money. He was the money guy, the business guy in the industry. Like, how did you get into music? Like, when did you start? What, like, I don't know, what was the first? Did you learn an instrument? Did you just start rapping
Yeah.
first?
I learned an instrument first. So my first instrument was like everybody else, a recorder.
Oh, sure. I
But
just found my sons that we're packing. We're moving to Nashville from
okay.
San Diego, and I just found my son's recorder. He's old, 12, but my 4-year-old has just been like obnoxious with the thing. Like recently, like, so I have to make
It's
sure
the
it's
one.
hidden if I'm doing interviews.
You should have brought him in. You should have brought him in.
Oh, he's
That is
at he
literally one of
finally
the.
got opened up for school, so a little bit. So he's at school for a couple hours right now. So
Your ears are blessed.
right.
Um, nah, that's funny. I thought that even when I played it, it was like the one of the worst sounding things. It kind of almost could have turned me off of music. But then I found out about I found the trombone, which I
Oh,
can't remember which music teacher. I'm pretty sure it was Mr. Harrison. Shout out to the legend at Country Day, um, who introduced me to trombone, and I liked it because I didn't want to play reed instruments or anything. I thought the
mhm.
spit was weird, and like you had to
Yeah, you gotta lick the wooden
hum
thing.
the
Yeah.
reed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, something's not right. So I'm just kidding. No disrespect to anybody who plays that, but it wasn't for me. So I played trombone all the way through high school, and even considered playing in college.
Wow.
But yeah, but I think that it would have been too time consuming for me. So in college and really in high school, I kind of transitioned into like really caring about um, recorded music because after Hurricane Katrina, my family relocated. My parents are divorced, so or even were divorced at the time. So my
Mhm.
dad moved to Houston, and my mom moved to Jackson, Mississippi. And since she was the domicile, we moved with my mom, me and my brother, and when we were in Jackson, it kind of, because you're in a new environment, I thought that it was just smart for me to create a new identity as like more of a music nerd, if you will, slash producer. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a good 12 pad beat machine that my pops had bought me. And
Cool.
I would make beats in the lunchroom for like all my friends, and kind of like we would rap. And actually to this day they're still very talented. One of them, his name is Just John. He's still a rapper. And
Cool.
He's super dope. And my cousin Jonathan, and we started this group called Homesick Astronauts.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super cool. We had t-shirts and everything. We sold the t-shirts. We sold CDs. We like made money as kids.
Wow. How old were you when that group started?
We were 13, 14.
Oh, wow.
But
so like what, beginning of high school around that? Okay. But you were still playing trombone as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
None of that was in the track. I thought it was corny as hell. The only thing I liked was guitar. Everything else was like, and I didn't even play. My friend played, but I was just like, we're not using anything that we learned in band class today. Like, it's like, what's on MTV? That's
right.
Right. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
So it was cool. And then fast forward a little bit later, I went to school at Mississippi State University. I followed my friends out there. A lot of my friends were going that I had met in Mississippi. So started to build a collaborative out there called TFG with two of my homies. And we were good. We were really good. I think that we all just wanted different things from it. So after college, some of us lived in Atlanta, some of us lived in New Orleans. I moved back to New Orleans.
Okay.
And some are in Mississippi and Texas. So like we're everywhere. So we kind of like split our separate ways, still working together.
Did you guys play like live and stuff? Were you doing shows? Oh, cool.
Definitely.
How were those shows like? Like, what was it like performing like that for the first time?
That was crazy. One of the best times of that, of that run or that era, I would call it. It kind of encapsulated or came together in. We had a show we played at Ole Miss that was super, super dope. One of my best nights. Half of it I don't remember, so that's how you know it was good. Sure. And like I think that, and then we played Buku together. And that was even more special because by then my friend who played guitar had gotten so cold at guitar. And then my other friend who plays keys and DJs, and another friend who's an incredible singer. We all had like come into our own in a way. We definitely inspired one another to take music to the next level. And with that, my manager at the time, myself, and one of my other homies, it wound up being like three of my other homies, moved to LA, in which, you know, I signed a pub deal with Pulse. And yeah, I think that kind of started a lot of creative.
Well, how did you find that? How did your manager, like, how did that connection happen?
That happened crazy enough. I mean, we were doing shows. We were doing kind of like local shows. And my OG at the time had always told me, and he's still my OG, just make sure that if you want to do this music shit, like, yes, it's cool to you know, be on Twitter with it, YouTube, because, you know, this was the era when Lil B was dropping a video damn near every day. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? This was, or at least every week. So we're like, we need to be on the internet like all the time. And so, which still is the case today. But like,
right, I think, more so now that everyone's stuck inside, huh?
Exactly. So Lil B was, once again, Lil B, the innovator. But so we were doing a couple of shows and attracted the attention of my former manager, and it kind of was, it was perfect because we didn't have the live side like figured out at all, even though we were doing it, and he had that figured out. So it was like kind of like a perfect marriage of like the two. And that's how we were able to maneuver around, like, kind of, I went on my first solo tour through that with
Wow.
my homies, but it was more like East Coast. I rode in my Element, my Honda Element. I still got it too. I still got that. It's sitting, you know, but
That's
rode,
rad.
yeah, rode in the Honda Element, slept in a Walmart, you know, did the whole thing.
Yeah, because the Element's got the bigger back seat, the big longer back to it, right? It's like kind of the boxy looking one.
Yeah, it's not even that long, but you can put the seats up, or you could like you know, I guess it's malleable. You can make it what you want.
Right.
So it was perfect, and it could just fit the turntables in there perfectly. Perfect. You know, we got what we needed out of it.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think that was like really what all of us were at a space where we were teaching each other how to hustle, and also teaching each other about the music side, and specifically with me and my homies. And so the jump to New York just felt natural. Like it felt like, okay, now that we have this kind of blanket of people that want to sign me, want to do publishing stuff with me, that want to do or throw in all these things, it's like, you know, I was just listening to Childish Gambino. Oh yeah, Childish Gambino and 21 Savage song when he's like, when they pay you to do it, you don't gotta ask what you're worth. And I feel like there was a time where once we realized how much money could be made, we were all collectively like, oh, okay, this is real. You know what I mean? So, so as it is for everybody. So we went to LA, and I've been there ever since. I'm now in New Orleans. I relocated since 2020, which is now the new diaspora. Everybody went back. You know,
So yeah, everybody left like wherever they were located, and it's like, I'm gonna go back to where I was born and raised. I'm done with this.
Exactly. But to touch on the LA side, so the cool part about the move to LA and that part of the story is this label 300 when they were first starting.
Oh yeah, I know them.
Yeah, I mean, now we know QC, we know like you mentioned anything that's coming out of Atlanta, that
it's 300.
A lot of stuff.
Right.
And it was cool. Like I thought that, this was a big deal. Leora Cohen had called me, my friend who now is like taking the bar next week, the Louisiana bar.
Shout out
wow. Yeah.
Good luck.
Like, I know, right? Good luck.
He is
not sleeping right now.
I doubt it.
But I remember we were chilling, we were by Manchew's in New Orleans, and this is like I was working at Subway. I was another type of artist, sandwich artist.
Sandwich artist. I love that they call them that.
Always my joke, you know what I mean? I might have to stop saying that after this interview, because I've said it like now twice, and I'm like, I don't want that to like be your
coin. Yeah. But, from sandwich artist to real artist.
I know. And my real name is Jared. It was iffy.
Oh, man.
Like, I had to keep that tucked. But I was working at the airport, so it was cool. Nobody saw me.
That must have been a beast to get in there. Wow, especially after 9/11. Did you have to go through like security every single day and all that?
Well, yeah, I had the little pass, so I was like, it was good going back and forth.
Okay, you didn't have to wait in the security line every day.
I didn't. I was good.
Okay, that's good.
I had full access, so I like TSA damn near. I was in there. But during that time, like it was kind of like a disheartening time, because I had been working on that project. I wasn't really sure. I had turned down the deal. I had turned down a couple other deals, and it was more like betting on the idea of the project being something that's big, and the marketing behind it, and all that stuff that wound up paying off, and that was my first time that, I saw my self-confidence as one of my biggest skills, you know what I mean? In terms of like, especially when you're a rapper, I think that the technicality, depending on who you are, sometimes is like, you especially in today's world where everybody's making music, everybody feels like they can do it. But to have that certain energy and that gumption to make things fall into place for yourself is that was one of the first moments that I was able to witness that in my life in real time. And, you know, shout out to the team too. Shout out to Chris, shout out to Greg, shout out to, at the time, who else? Yeah, like a lot of these people I still work with, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like, it's just crazy to see, you know, when you believe in yourself and it's, you know, you manifest these things from thin air.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
so that happened, and then I'm in LA. You
And then
know,
that's when you signed the pub deal. Was prior to moving to LA, or once you made it to Los Angeles?
prior.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we were in, it was probably like 4 months had passed after the project had been released, and we had been taking trips back and forth to LA, just for meetings, for building a team around the project. I had PR, I had my team, you know.
Right. Was that
And,
the what was that Floating While Dreaming? Is that the record you're talking about?
yep, floating while
Okay,
dreaming.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's the record. That's the record.
Cool,
So
cool.
it's 2014. You know, we
Uh-huh.
got the record. We're building, and I was asked to be on tour with G. I went on a couple of dates with G.
Wow.
Big deal for me at the
Well, that's
like,
huge.
especially
A
at the
big deal for
time
anyone,
too, because
man.
yeah, and especially at the time, because he went to school down here. He went to school in New Orleans, so it was a
Oh,
big
I didn't
deal
know that.
where yeah, Loyola. So it was a big deal for me in terms of the hometown connection. One of my homies who I grew up with actually was producing a lot for him at the time too. So it was like a, you know, it all came full
Like a
circle.
full circle. Yeah, that's rad.
Crazy. Got to go on some of those show days, some of the greatest shows I've ever performed. Um, and kind of got my routine down in a way, like tested things out for the first time in front of like big crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so shout out to him for sure. And during that process, a lot of attention was starting to fall into place, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
eventually, that landed the attention of different publishing houses, and you know, I decided on Pulse because multitude of things, but the relationships
Mm-hmm.
were and still are very good over there, and yeah, that's what made me want to move to LA officially. Like I felt like
Okay.
it was always an idea, but
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, now okay, money. Like okay.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
So yeah.
So once you signed with Pulse and you moved to Los Angeles, was that like, next level for you? Is that when everything started kind of really to blow up, or was that around the G-Eazy tour?
I think it's a combination. It's like a snowball effect, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like one thing happens, then another thing happens, and the G thing led to, it was a catalyst for certain things. But I
Mm-hmm.
think, you know, 2015, the next year, really set up a lot of things in terms of Spotify at the time was doing this Emerge contest, which I won.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Tell me about that a little bit. That's cool.
yeah, so Spotify had this thing where they would have a contest with independent artists to get their streams popping on the
Mm-hmm.
platform, because Spotify, you know, big on discovering artists and whatnot,
Sure.
was definitely advocating for artists to submit and make sure that, you know, artists felt that they were getting something off the platform. So I
Right.
think they had this competition that was definitely beneficial for independent artists, and it was a campaign that ran for, I actually can't remember how long, but it was at the beginning of 2015, and yeah, I won that shit. I don't even. Hey, I won it.
Whoa. Was it
So
just off stream? Like you had a song up on Spotify and people would vote, or is that how it worked?
yeah. That's basically how it worked. And then there were like some other like rules to it, I guess, but it was really about like sharing that you were a part of it, and
Uh-huh.
people pitching like your stuff to Spotify or tagging Spotify on your tweets, Instagram, whatever. And
Uh-huh.
then like all of these things are calculated as points, whatever. And then, you know, you declare the winners based on how things are trending. And I was,
Wow.
which is crazy because the year before me, guess who won it?
Who?
G-Eazy.
Oh man,
So
that
like,
is crazy.
so it's crazy, right?
Whoa, yeah.
So I mean, it was just like everything full circle once again, full circle. And yeah, shout out to Spotify, shout out to everybody there, and it kind of that snowballed into even more just relationships, man. And I've been blessed to this day just to be able to still continue what I do and at this level.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2015, I guess I'll go year by year. So 2015, I wound up meeting Dave Siddick too. And Dave Siddick, TV on the radio. I'm a
Yeah.
and I used to
Oh
listen
yeah.
to rock music all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So
He's so sick.
tell me about it.
Yeah.
So he liked one of my records, and I got to hang out with him at his crib in his home studio, and we made a project called Limbo. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize you made that with him. That's
Oh,
dope.
oh yeah. That's him.
Oh,
That's yeah. And
wow.
and it's crazy because it's one of those projects for me. It's so different from everything that I've released, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
in your face in a way. A lot of it is that was difficult for me at the time because I liked making like more casual music, but I think Dave really got me out of my comfort zone in a way. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember even one time we had a conversation. He was like, because it was one song on there, Vanilla Sky, that like I was like, yeah, man, like I like the chill version because I had already recorded a version that was very chill, but I basically was making an album version that was super aggressive. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, this is like a microcosm of the album. Um, and I was like, yeah, like I feel like I'm always just a little bit more chill. And he was like, yeah, like I'm cool. It's whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like however you want to move, or you feel like you're evolving. You let me know. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when I went back and listened to all the records that we had, I felt that sense of like evolution that I was like, nah, we doing the next version. So like feel like Limbo was like my superhero project in terms of like, okay, I'm not gonna make even just like rap shit. Like I'm just gonna make what I feel like right now and live in this moment. And
Sure.
shout out to Dave for helping me encourage me to do that.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
ever release the chill version, or you just kind of scrapped it at that point?
hmm, and chill version is out. Chill version been out. So it just
Oh.
would have been the same. It would have like I just since Dave was working on every track, it made sense for us to do something new. You know,
Oh, got it. Okay.
so it was kind of like because I had that song already in the can. I had it on SoundCloud, but it wasn't like officially released or anything like that.
Got it.
And it was just like, ooh, should we put this on the project? But it wouldn't have fit with everything else. So it was
So
like,
you put it out as a single. Okay, now I'm seeing it. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Got it. Got it. Okay. And so you put out Limbo, and did you tour that record?
mm-hmm. Yeah, the Only in Your Dreams tour, which was in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Had my homie Bill playing with me. Uh, we had a nice setup. Word to Thomas, that was a beautiful setup. And I brought Chaz French, Dye Jack, and JID Jid on tour, and that was probably one of the best times I've ever had in music, for sure.
Really? What would you say like
Definitely.
the big highlight of it or milestone moment would be?
Um, milestone moment of that tour
Of
in
that
the
tour, because you said it was the most fun you ever had playing music. I'm just
oh,
curious.
I'd say my first like sellout show outside of like New Orleans or outside of like near home, and that was
Yeah.
that was in Boston. That was in Cambridge. I made at the Middle East, right? And
Yeah.
crazy show. We had an awesome night. I remember afterwards we had like a little bit of an after party, and at the after party, like somebody was like freestyling outside, like with the bouncer, and like we wound up having like a freestyle session on some.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But like it's the little moments like that for sure that were there was tons of those on the
Hmm.
entire tour, and I have like I was able to capture a lot of that. Nolan Feldposh
Hmm.
captured like we did a tour vlog, so we had a few episodes. I think four.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, so yeah, good stuff. It's really dope.
That's cool.
Um,
And you the next project you put out some singles, but the next project you did was Gravity, right? And that was
mm-hmm,
2019.
mm-hmm.
Was
Long
that
time.
a record? Was that a record you were working on, like, but from 2017 to then?
Yeah, to like really 2016, right? Like
Uh-huh.
I think there was another project in the interim that was in 2017, which is Hira Soul. So that was a whole build up to um, making Gravity. I think I didn't want to release a huge
Oh,
project.
okay, yeah.
So it kind of made sense to have something kind of intermediate, and GLBL was that, which I produced half of the tracks with my collaborator Billy DeLellis, Cigarette Billy. We worked on that and had like, that was my first time like really working in a different capacity and like doing more. So yeah, shout out to GLBL in terms of like I was producing a lot more.
I was just gonna say, yeah, so you were doing like kind of more, instead of just doing the vocal, you were doing more of the production background stuff as well.
Exactly. And like just sourcing like having a vision for the artwork, like even more so than in times past. Not saying that I didn't before, but it was like it ushered in a different type of mentality for me and the way that I took it serious, I guess.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that was pretty dope. We had that, it did well too. I think it's still to this day is doing well. One of my favorites on that is Chirpin, and that's like one of my favorite videos I've ever done. Yeah.
Tell me about the video. What did you enjoy about it?
Oh, I love how on concept we stuck. Like sometimes like you have these video ideas and like, you know, it's not the 90s or early 2000s anymore where people had crazy budgets. Like at least for me, right? I know there's still some that doesn't apply, but for me it was like, how can we do this but also on a budget?
Right.
And I think with that visual, it was like everything came into fruition the way that the inception was. Like the entire process was beautiful. Shout out to Miles and AJ. The whole thing was perfect. And the execution was perfect. So yeah, that was like one of my favorite videos for sure because of that.
That's cool.
Now we're here at
the new record.
Nina, where you at?
Sorry, this is Michaela. Hi. I just wanted to make sure that you have another phoner scheduled, but I pushed it back 30 minutes. So I think you guys can just keep talking about the new record because you hadn't done that yet.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries. We love it.
My bad. I'm gonna talk.
No, I'm sorry too. I didn't. Sometimes it just gets out of control.
Though. I can't stop most of that. So no, where I was is like Gravity was the culmination of all the songs that didn't make it to GLBL that I'd been recording during that process. And I kind of sat with them for a while you know, I just gathered life experience and really was touring a lot. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, I went on tour with Doja Cat, with Brash Tracks. Before that, went on tour, went on festival runs several times and really was just, you know, making the most out of one, life in LA, like enjoying life, and then two, like really touring. That was like my main focus. So I think in 2018, I kind of took a step back to be like, okay, let's finish the record. And then we released it in 2019.
And were you able to tour it, or did everything shut down by the time you had put the record out and everything?
Shut down.
Oh my gosh. So you had the album. Go ahead.
I hopped on 2 tours in 2019 though, with PJ Morton and Tank and the Bangers. So I was able to perform.
I just interviewed Tank. She's so rad.
Fucking love Tank. That's like my sister in this.
Oh movie. Yeah. She's New Orleans too. Yeah, I love. Yeah, I just interviewed her. She's working on a new record right now.
I just was on her EP.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was on the track Friend Goals, actually. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. I didn't put it all together.
hey, it be like that. Yeah. So we toured that record with P and Tank, and PJ is who I mean when I say P. And it was fucking amazing, man. I had a great time. But then 2020, I was gearing up to start recording this record that I had been wanting to work on for a while, and I had been working on, called Global Warming, which is a collective of New Orleans artists.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's super sick. So it's a collective of 20 plus artists, 10 producers, and like 3 graphic designers, photographers, managers, lawyers, all based out of New Orleans, right?
That's so cool.
And it was my way of trying to give back to homies that I had worked with in the city that didn't necessarily fit on a Pell record, or didn't necessarily, our like schedules didn't link or things weren't released in time, and like we had a back catalog of music. And I just wanted to take seriously like the idea of investing in your community. So that started to be the whole mission for 2020.
And is that what this new record is? It's all New Orleans based.
Yeah, all New Orleans based. And it's almost, I'm acting as an executive producer because that's the way that I felt I wanted to come into this. I like movements where, you know, sometimes you can't even define who the leader is because everybody looks like a boss.
Sure.
That's what this project is. Everybody's so talented that we weave in with one another seamlessly. Even though I said like a 20 art, it's crazy, right? That's a lot of people. But I think while it's ambitious, it's very grounded in the idea of, you know, making positive, good music. And that's something that everybody that's a part of the project was down for from the jump. So, you know, in 2020, when COVID and quarantine started, made it a little bit easier to send things out, and because everybody was receptive of like, when I send them a track, oh, I can lay this down this week. I can lay this down.
Right. Nobody else has anything going on except I'm trying to get toilet paper.
Exactly. I know, right? And it opened it up, man. It opened it up, and we had, you know, probably like 30 tracks recorded, but cut that down to probably like 25 tracks, I'd say, and cut that down to 16. And now we have a track list that is beautiful and very full and shows the true range of New Orleans music in the hip hop and R&B space. And I'm just to be a part of it. You know, one of my idols is Pharrell. One of my idols is
sure.
Jones. These are people that inspired me to like live behind the scenes and show the community that influence what you make. And I think that's
I love it. So was the project already a concept before everything shut down, and that just kind of was able to project it because now you can get everybody on songs and together?
Yeah, we had already recorded some of the records. I think,
okay.
Yeah, even 504, which we just released.
Just came today. Yeah, I want to talk to you about this one now.
Yeah, so hey, we can start with that one. So that is a good example of how long this has been an idea and how many different people and like in terms of like different records have come across my mind and the collective's mind of as it pertains to like what we should do with it. And 504 in particular, produced by the legendary RIP Nio Da Vinci, was a record that was initially given to my homie Kr3wcial, who Kr3wcial wrote the hook and performed.
He's on the song too, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's him. I'm out there. That's him.
Okay.
So, yeah. So he sent me that. I was like, oh, this is amazing. You know what I mean? This is like an anthem. But at the time, we weren't really recording global warming specific songs. Like it was more like when Pell gets back to New Orleans, then it's like a session that may be for global warming. You know what I mean? Like how we record it. So he sends that to me, also sends it to Sleaze, who's on the last verse. She lays something. I don't think I heard that verse like as soon as she laid it. I think I heard it later. I think I heard it way later. And it had kind of just been sitting for like a year. Year. So we're, you know, because I'm collaborating with both of them on, you know, global warming, other tracks, you know what I mean? Doing stuff, and that song comes up again. And we're like, oh my God, we playing it, you know what I mean? And it's January, I can't remember the exact date of last year, of 2020. And it's one of the first global warming sessions that we're having. And it's for another song that we're about to start on. And we play that song and I'm like, like I gotta record my verse now. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you knew,
put it in there. And then as we built the like as the track list shaped itself out and as like I was in there sequencing everything out, it made sense to make sure that this was the first representation of how dope this collective is and how the essence of New Orleans music can still be applied in a more contemporary sense. Like, and I think that that's what this is.
I love that. I love this concept. I love what you're doing. I mean, 504 is so sick, and I'm glad that we were able to talk about it today. Since it just came out. I mean, that must have been. Was it a big day today when it came out? Did you do anything?
Oh, it's a big day.
Besides going coffee.
It's raining outside, but it's a good day. I hooped earlier with my homies. Two homies on global warming. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we all calling each other. We all like, oh my God, it's on Complex. Like, you know what I mean? Putting the phone down, and then we'll see what's in store for tonight. But yeah, it's been pretty chill.
That is awesome. And then you're gonna put the whole global warming is gonna be a whole record, right? A whole project.
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna slowly roll out singles and then the full album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I think we're gonna go straight into the album 2 weeks from now. We have a couple of surprises leading up to it, but like I think the main thing is pushing 504 right now. And
sure.
That everybody watches that, download it, stream it, buy it if you can, wherever you at.
Sure.
And just get the word out about New Orleans and about 504, aka New Orleans, simultaneously. And then from there, we have a couple other focus tracks that'll start rolling out. But yeah, right now it's all about 504.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much, Pell, for talking with me today. It's so awesome to hear your story. I really appreciate it.
Yo, appreciate it. I gave you okay, we have 30 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rapid fire, man.
No, sorry, we even went over. But I have one more question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Be authentic and make sure that you learn the business. Be authentic to yourself, as in, it's okay to be influenced by other people. Everybody that creates is, because we all love what we do and we soak it up. You know what I mean? And it's good to consume. Sometimes I feel like consumption is just as good as production when it comes to phases of, life. There's ebbs and flows to the creative life. I mean, but make sure that you retain your energy. Never lose yourself. The second thing I would say is, maintain ownership and know the business. Know, as much as you can about what you do and how you can get money from it. Because if you're as passionate as I am, you spend all this time, working on things, and you got to make sure you get more out of it than it gets out of you. And that's what I would say for aspiring recording and industry artists. You know what I mean? If you want to do the shit in the basement for your leisure, by all means, you don't fuck the business. Bring it backwards.